Hey guys, I wanted to share with you a recent acquisition of mine that, despite its looks, I'm extremely proud to own. What I have over here is a pre-war Polish Eagle FB Radom VIS dated to 1938, as it's indicated over here on the slide. And as you can see, it does have a significant amount of corrosion on it. But that is kind of what made this particular example affordable and within, I guess, the ability of me to collect this item. Now, why is this one so desirable for me to add to my collection? Well, ever since I found about the existence of these pistols, when I took a look at my uncle's book of Polish small arms throughout the ages as a teen, I was fascinated by them, and I know they're a point of pride in the Polish community, especially those with an interest in military history and such. So when I got older and I was able to start collecting milsurps, especially once I found out that that's actually something you can do, I was taking a look around for these, and just they were extremely way out of my budget. So I kind of skirted around that issue by collecting examples of the Nazi occupation production examples, which are comparatively cheaper. So these are the Nazi occupation production examples that I had featured in another video that I put out about these pistols. And while these were great, I took these shooting, loved taking these out to the range and putting some rounds down range. They just didn't exactly scratch that itch for having a real VIS in my collection. So these pre-war versions of the VIS 35 with the Polish Eagle crest on them, they're extremely collectible, and they're priced appropriately to match their desirability. And to be honest, I haven't seen them priced lower than $5,000 for shooter grade examples. And once you get into some examples that are out there in much better condition with, gorgeous bluing and some of the rarer years, like I think 1937 was the lowest production year, you have to spend several $1,000s more. And in my opinion, you get diminishing returns. Now, with regard to the pitting, that is pretty bad on the right-hand side of the pistol. I would like to imagine that this pistol was buried by the Poles after the collapse of Poland in 1939 to be used, by the resistance, the Armia Krajowa or Home Army, or maybe just to prevent capture by the Nazis and then, recovered after the war. I think I gotta just be realistic and say that, this is probably a GI bring back that they had stored in a damp holster, or had it stored in a damp attic someplace, and just, slowly over the decades, pitting and, corrosion just started eating away at the metal. That being said, the internals of the pistol are in pristine condition, and surprisingly, you can see, the gorgeous dusky rust blue finish on the pistol when you shine the light just right. And I know when I took the grips off the pistol, the original finish was on there, and it just looks absolutely gorgeous. Fortunately, this one came with a appropriate Polish-proof magazine. It's a bit hard to see here with the pitting, but there is a D/2 in an oval for the final inspection marking of Major Dzierżynski. And, this is quite fortunate because these Polish-proof magazines are quite rare to find kind of being sold separately. And I think these are, they kind of start at $650 and go up for better condition ones. So, I mean, it's basically the same price as a cheap shooter grade Nazi occupation VIS. And here is an example of a Nazi occupation example. And, just looking them side by side, they're pretty much identical with the exception of a little marking. So that little marking makes, this one 3 times the value of this one, which is kind of ridiculous, but that's the way it is in the collecting community. All right, with the magazine out of the pistol and empty chamber, I'm going to disassemble the pistol and kind of point out a couple of things that I thought are pretty nice. There's a lot of fine craftsmanship that goes into these pre-war pistols that I really appreciate. And one of the things that kind of is a good demonstration of that is this notch cut in the slide for the recoil guide spring assembly over here. So you'll see it's like a nice elegant V-notch cut over here. Even though this is like, it has nothing to do with the function of the pistol, and it's a hidden feature. It's, you know, made in a very precise cut, and yeah, a lot of attention to detail there. And we'll compare it to a Nazi occupation example. So here's a Nazi occupation example slide. If you'll see here, I mean, it's a pretty jagged looking cut, and to, you know, someone who's not aware of this, they might think that, oh no, like their slide is cracked or broken. So kind of a neat little tidbit. Additionally, the Polish pistols have this nice little elegant cutout or relief in the trigger guard area of the frame. This was quickly abandoned in the Nazi occupation examples to kind of expedite production. So comparing the two, you'll definitely see that change. The Polish barrels have a small eagle proof over here on the barrel, and the serial number is over here on this side, whereas in comparison, the German occupation barrels, they have the last 3 digits of the serial number over here with a Nazi eagle, and nothing over here on this part of the barrel, and a couple Waffenamts. Whereas on the Polish one, there's just Lucky Charms on that side. The Polish slide will have a small Polish eagle proof mark over here by the cocker. It's a little tough to see with the pitting, but I'll try to get a better picture on screen. Another feature that's quite apparent is this cutout over here, which is a cut that is made for the adoption of a shoulder stock in the back of the grip. These never really made it past the prototype stage, and curiously, this machining was done in the early Nazi occupation examples quite briefly, even though the shoulder stocks were not even made during Nazi occupation production. So interesting. It's generally accepted that only around 20,000 of these pistols were made in the year 1938, like this example. And it is the second most numerous year of production, with 1939 being the most common. And just for demonstration purposes, what I have shown here is a reproduction Polish pre-war holster. Now, original Polish pre-war holsters are extremely hard to find, and they're quite expensive. I think the last one I saw is, you know, priced a lot more than what I actually paid for the pre-war Polish pistol itself. So if that kind of puts things into perspective. And there are a lot of fakes out there as well, where it's like, you know, you could just put in a fake stamp, kind of weather it, and sell it for, I don't know, $3,500. And if someone isn't the wiser, they could fall for that trap. So in conclusion, I'm very happy to have this one in my collection, despite, you know, it not being a museum quality example. I'm very happy to be the new caretaker of it. And, you know, even if that means, you know, I have to deal with its warts and all, it was affordable, and it definitely satisfies that childhood desire to, you know, have one of these in my collection. So thanks everyone for watching.